Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a truly heartwarming source script from a podcast called What If? Specifically, we're looking at an episode titled Magic in Pajamas. It centers around this absolutely delightful conversation between a teacher and her highly imaginative student, Anshul. And what we're really exploring today is the boundless wisdom, the empathy, and honestly, the sheer brilliant creativity you can only find in a child's what-if scenarios. As we go through this, you're going to see how Anshul's ideas start out super whimsical, but actually reveal some incredibly profound insights about how we care for our planet, for each other, and for our communities.
So think about this question for a second. What would you do with magic powers? Seriously, if you suddenly woke up tomorrow and could do absolutely anything, what is your #1 goal? It's a fantastic hook, right? Really gets you into that playful, imaginative mindset. Now, for most adults, we'd probably think about paying off a mortgage or, instantly teleporting past our morning commute. But when the teacher poses this exact question to Anshul, his very first, incredibly ambitious goal is something entirely different. Without missing a beat, he says, goal #1 is to heal the planet.
And this just brilliantly highlights the contrast between how adults and kids view problem solving. When the teacher asks him how exactly he'd heal a planet that's so massive, Anshul just says, with a snap of my fingers. In our adult reality, we usually picture the highway department doing that grueling trash duty, right? Picking up litter one piece at a time. But in Anshul's magical vision, all the plastic floating out there in the oceans instantly turns into completely harmless sea bubbles. Every single piece of litter on land just transforms into a tree or a beautiful flower. The teacher even jokes that the highway department would absolutely love him because there'd be no more trash duty, just endless forests.
What's really fascinating about this part of the conversation is how Anshul's magical solutions instantly expand to tackle other massive global issues. He doesn't just stop at pollution. He tells his teacher that with his magic, literally no one would ever go hungry again. He'd find anyone who needs a meal and just zap a never-ending buffet of delicious, healthy food right in front of them. And then naturally, he decides he wants to change the weather. But he doesn't just want to make it sunny every day.
He says, no way, rain is cool, if it tastes good. And that brings us to this absolutely fantastic quote. He says, imagine a Tuesday afternoon strawberry shower. He wants to make the rain taste like different fruit juices. It perfectly captures that brilliant whimsy of a child's imagination. Of course, the teacher brings a little touch of humorous, practical observation to the table here. She gently points out that while a strawberry shower sounds amazing, it also sounds like a very, very sticky situation for everyone's clothes.
Okay, let's move on and see how this builds into something incredibly touching. Anshul mentions a concept he invented called the teleportation hug. Basically, it's a magic portal that allows you to instantly step through and visit a faraway family member for the weekend. 0 airplanes required. It is such a deeply empathetic yet wonderfully practical concept. It really shows that even when he's dreaming up these wildly impossible magic spells, his core motivation is all about connection and bringing separated families back together.
But then the teacher asks him a really great question. She says, is all of this magic just for the world, or do you have a little bit saved just for yourself? And Anshul admits, okay, yeah, he has one selfish spell. He calls it the cleanup zap. With one zap, his bedroom is instantly clean. And the reason why, so he has way more time to read and play. The teacher jokes that every single parent listening just cheered, and honestly, she's definitely right. It adds a great touch of relatable humor to all these grand magical plans.
Section 1, If Animals Could Talk.
So the teacher asks him, if his dog could speak English, what is the very first question he would ask him? Anshul shares this hilarious desire that I think literally any pet owner can relate to. He says he would spend hours interviewing his dog just to find out what in the world it's actually barking at when it's staring at a blank wall. Is it a ghost, a bug, a microscopic speck of dust? He needs answers. It is such a funny, totally perfect observation of everyday life with a pet.
But Anshul takes it a step further. He actually thinks animals could help us run society. He envisions birds giving us aerial traffic reports from the sky, warning us about jams on Main Street. He pictures squirrels acting as tiny park detectives, telling the police exactly where criminals are hiding. But here is the absolutely crucial point. This communication goes both ways. The best part of animals talking wouldn't just be them helping us out. It would be that we would finally learn how to take much better care of them. They could tell us exactly what they need to stay safe, healthy, and happy. Again, profound empathy completely wrapped up in a super fun idea.
Section 2, Principal for a Day. So what's his first executive order as principal?
A massive dress code change. Everyone, and yes, that absolutely includes the teachers, has to wear their favorite pajamas to school. And the teacher completely agrees with him, saying, flannel pants and slippers sound like the perfect outfit for grading papers. But what about the lesson plans? Well, Anshul says math class would literally just be about counting and eating chocolate chips. And for creative writing, they'd all sit on giant beanbags under the trees outside, just writing comic books. I mean, it's basically a masterclass in making school a place of joy and comfort.
And then, of course, we have to talk about recess. His epic vision for recess is a massive, school-wide game of hide-and-seek. And the ultimate rule is that the teachers have to hide too. I absolutely love the teacher's response in the script here. She makes this hilarious admission that she is already a total expert at hiding in the staff lounge, so she gladly accepts the challenge.
Section 3. The Rule of Inclusion.
Things get a little bit more serious when the teacher asks him about his final idea, which is about changing just one single rule in the entire world. When given the ultimate power to change absolutely anything on Earth, what does a highly imaginative child actually choose to focus on?
He presents his ultimate playground rule, and it's this: no one is ever allowed to be left out alone. It is incredibly simple, but it's just so deeply powerful. He explains that under this rule, no one would ever be allowed to say phrases like, the game is full, or you can't play. Those phrases are strictly 100% outlawed in Anshul's world.
What is really interesting about this rule is the active mechanism behind it. It's not just a passive, hey, try to be nice suggestion, it's a real actionable protocol. He calls it the immediate duty to invite. He explains that if a student is sitting alone on a bench, or maybe just watching a game from the sidelines, it becomes the immediate duty of the other kids to pause their game, walk right over, and invite them in. It completely shifts the burden away from the lonely child trying to awkwardly break in to the group actively welcoming them.
And why does this matter? Well, the teacher explicitly highlights the impact of this level of inclusion. Just imagine how much the world would change if we all actually operated this way. The whole point of the rule is to ensure that every single kid feels brave, happy, and confident that they truly belong. This child's really simple imaginative framework actually holds the absolute key to deep community care and empathy.
Which brings us to our final takeaway, and Anshul's own incredibly memorable sign-off from the podcast. He tells the listeners, remember everyone, invite someone to play today. It's such a provocative call to action, isn't it? It challenges all of us to look around our own lives, whether that's at school, in our workplaces, or just in our everyday communities, and actively find the person sitting on the bench. Who can you bring into the fold? Who will you invite to play today? Thank you so much for joining me as we explored this wonderful conversation. Keep asking those big what-ifs, and I'll see you next time.